All right, so we know that we have three servers that we want to connect to. And one other command that we are going to run in order to create the connection is get cluster. We need the basically the UUID of the Lightbits cluster in order to connect. So the command is fairly simple. It is just NVMe connect, and we're going to provide the method with the TCP, and the port is going to be 4420 as we did before, and the host we're going to connect into the first one, and we're going to provide the NQN that identify this cluster. And we're basically going to say keep this connection connected and reconnect if something happens. And once we are running the command, there's not really any kind of feedback. But if now we'll go back into NVMe list subsys, down below in here you can see that we now have a connection using TCP into this IP address. So we can repeat this with basically the other two IP addresses that the Lightbits cluster have, or the other two targets. One was .10 and one was .11. And now if we run the subsys command, we see that we are now from this Azure VM connected into all the targets in the Lightbits cluster. And so now we are ready to start and create volumes and attach them as NVMe devices into this Azure VM. All right, so as we've seen previously, we do not have any volumes currently on this Lightbits cluster, and we do not have any NVMe that are connected via TCP into this Azure VM, only the direct attach NVMe devices. So let's go and create a volume. So again, LBCLI is the command line tool to create a volume, delete a volume, all sorts of things. The man pages have helpful information on how on all the operations that you can do. We're gonna create a volume. I'm gonna name it SLOB DB only because we're gonna run the SLOB workload on top of it. We have to supply a project name. Since this is a brand new cluster, we only have the default project name in the Lightbits cluster. We're gonna supply an ACL, and here we can do a little bit of a trick. Since we are on the client where we want to connect the volume, we can basically cut ITSI NVMe host NQN, which holds basically this specific virtual machine host NQN. The size is going to be let's do 250 gigabytes, and we are going to require 3 replica for this volume. And as you can see, the state is in creating. If we will run again LBCLI list volume, we're going to see that it's now already available. It takes less than a second for all of this to happen. If we will go back into the NVMe list command, at the bottom here you can see that we have this Lightbits volume that is a 250 gig its size, connected into this Azure VM, and basically Linux is using /dev NVMe8 N1 as the device, the block device name. This looks, if we run ls block, for example, again, it looks like any other NVMe device that is attached into the Azure VM. The difference is everything here is done over TCP.